What's up, crankheads? Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be going over a Day 0 High Seas deck tech for Maxx Nitro. But first, I'm going to start with the state of the deck and cover some additional cards that High Seas gave to the deck. Starting with the state of the deck, the loss of High Octane really affected Maxx. High Octane solved a lot of the problems the deck had, and through generating additional action points, allowed Nitro Mechanoid to attack multiple times in the same turn. There are some replacements for High Octane available, but they're not exactly replacements, more so downgrades. The first one of which is Gigawatt, which is a 1-cost Mechanologist action that blocks for 2 with, in the red version, your next Mechanologist attack this turn gets +4 power. I've really become a fan of Gigawatt. Not only does it apply to any Mechanologist attack, which includes Nitro Mechanoid, your base weapon, or any of your attack action cards, you don't need to put in any additional effort to really play this card. Even if you end up blocking with 3 cards, you can just arsenal it and save it for a future turn, or if you have the extra resource available, which you most often do, you can just play it out and swing with Nitro Mechanoid for 10 power with overpower. Obviously, it's not a replacement for High Octane, but it is a pretty good card for what it does. The next High Octane replacement is the combo of Gas Up and Hyperdriver. Gas Up is a 1-cost Mechanologist action that blocks for 2 with, in the red version, the next attack you boost this turn gets +4 power, and you may put a Hyperdriver from your Banish Zone into the arena. By using Maxx's ability, you can crank the Hyperdriver that you put into the arena from your Banish Zone, allowing you to generate an additional action point and allowing you to attack with Nitro Mechanoid multiple times in the same turn. I'm not exactly a fan of these two cards. Not only does Gas Up require you to boost and also require you to have a Hyperdriver in your Banish Zone for its full effect, Hyperdrivers in general are just not good cards. My previous list was running only 2 red Hyperdrivers and 2 Gas Ups, and anytime I drew a Hyperdriver, I felt miserable. In addition, Maxx has a lack of good boost cards. Most of the boost cards he runs right now are just vanillas, and High Seas did not bring any boost cards with it. Additionally, Maxx has a lack of good blocking cards. The best block card he has access to is Firewall, which is just a 4-block with no other effect, and Mechanologist is still the only class without access to any defense reactions. And finally, High Seas brought with it a lot of item hate cards, whether it be through stealing or simply destroying items. Things are not looking good for Maxx as it stands right now. But we did get a pretty solid replacement for High Octane. And the good replacement for High Octane is Cog in the Machine. Cog in the Machine is a 1-cost red Mechanologist action that blocks for 3 with the effect of creating 2 golden Cog tokens, and you may tap a Cog you control. If you do, put this at the bottom of your deck. Golden Cogs are just token Mechanologist items with Crank and the standard Mechanologist item disruption effect. This card is called Low Octane for a very good reason. It nets you 2 action points without requiring any additional effort from you. Because you can crank both cogs, you are able to get the action points from both of those. And it puts itself back into its deck for late game plays or just to use as fodder in your deck for boosting away. This unfortunately doesn't reach the highs of High Octane, but is a very suitable substitute and definitely replaces the Gas Up and Hyperdriver package that decks were running. I'm very happy with this card, and I would love to see more cards like it that net you action points while not being as strong as High Octane. Next up, we have the weapons from the set, the first of which is Spitfire. Spitfire is a 2-handed Mechanologist gun weapon with action, tap this and a cog you control to attack, and when this attacks, you may tap a cog you control to give the attack +1 power. Currently, Plasma Pistol is the weapon of choice for Maxx, but will be leaving soon once Inventor Extraordinaire LLs. That leaves us with a pretty big gap because Plasma Pistol is a very good weapon for Mechanologists in general. Unfortunately, Spitfire is not a good replacement for it. There's just not much to say about this weapon because Maxx isn't playing cogs and has minimal cog generation, so unless he is able to get that support, this does not seem like a good way to have a weapon on hand. While it does attack for free, it unfortunately requires too much setup that Maxx is unfortunately not able to do. On the other hand, the next weapon, Cogworks Blunderbuss, is pretty good. Cogworks Blunderbuss is a two-handed mechanologist gun weapon with action, pay 2 resources, and tap it to attack, and instant tap a cog you control for the effect of giving this weapon's next attack go again. This is most definitely the better of the 2 weapons for Maxx because it does not require additional work to attack, but unfortunately does not have the utility of Decklist Plasma Pistol. Decklist Plasma Pistol allows you to filter cards and can bank its steam counter to attack on a later turn. This attacks right away and does require 2 resources compared to the 1 resource of Decklist Plasma Pistol. Additionally, if you have multiple action points, you need ways to untap Cogworks Blunderbuss to attack with it again, while if you had additional action points and you had Decklist Plasma Pistol equipped, you would not face similar restrictions. Overall, once again, definitely the better of the 2 between Spitfire and this weapon, but it just does not reach the highs of Decklist Plasma Pistol. Now for the final few cards, remember when I said I really liked Gigawatt? Well, LSS decided to give us 3 more versions of Gigawatt, those being Tighten the Screws, Perk Up, and Draw Back the Hammer. All of these are 1-cost red mechanologist actions that block for 2. With your next mechanologist attack, this turn gets +4 power. With Tighten the Screws untapping a cog you control, Perk Up untapping your hero, and Draw Back the Hammer untapping your weapon. As it stands, these are all effectively just different flavors of Gigawatt. There's no real reason to play one over the other right now, while we have all of the other tools and resources. But Tighten the Screws could end up being relevant if Maxx gets any sort of cog support. Cog in the machine does generate 2 cogs for any sort of future use, and if you are able to keep steam counters on them or choose not to crank them, then this could be relevant with attacks. And Draw Back the Hammer could be relevant once Decklist Plasma Pistol leaves because it allows you to untap the weapon. But as it stands, choose whichever art you like the best. And here is the deck. A deck list will be available in the comments below, and the first thing you'll notice is that there are no major changes from the lists I have previously posted. As I've discussed, Maxx did not receive too many tools in the set, but what he did receive is still pretty good. Starting with the weapon and equipment, once again, there are no changes. The weapon of choice is still Decklist Plasma Pistol, and I like the equipment suit as it stands. Cogworks Blunderbuss is in the maybe pile. Once Decklist Plasma Pistol rotates, this should be the weapon of choice, but there are other options still available. I just like it because it allows you to attack without putting in any additional effort. Moving on to the deck itself, once again, no major changes apart from Cog in the machine being added to the list. Cog with the machine is the most effective high octane replacement we have access to, and this card has gone ahead and replaced the Hyperdriver and Gas Up package I was previously running. I've also added in 1 more copy of Yellow Recharge. I really like this card because it adds a steam counter on a Hyperdriver in addition to buffing the next attack you boost. I'm already running 3 copies on red, and I was previously on 2 copies of yellow, but adding in a 3rd copy really rounds out that suite. And then finally, regarding Gigawatt, there's no real reason to run any of the other versions right now, which is why just 3 copies of red Gigawatt are in the deck, but I can definitely see a world where you're running 1 or 2 additional copies of some of the other versions, just to really ensure you are able to draw it and play it out consistently. As for the inventory, there are no changes. Maxx, once again, did not receive too many good tools in the set, and I like the inventory suite as it stands. The addition of Disillusion Sphere is in here mainly for Florian, but Florian seems like he will be rotating soon. Overall, I am not too happy with the state of the deck as it stands. As I discussed, there's a lot of just item hate present in the set, and Maxx still has the same issues he did prior to the set releasing. But I am still looking forward to playing the deck and getting to play with a pseudo version of High Octane through Cog in the machine that really is able to ensure we are able to get out those multiple mechanoid attacks in the same turn. And with all of that being said, thanks for watching.